Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Yeah.
Happy Monday. Welcome to We'll Run It Back, the playoff edition. Lou Will, Chandler P, Michelle B. Guys, I got to be honest with you. I don't know what that was last night.
That was bad.
That was one of the least entertaining.
When did you get arms?
Excuse me? I got arms on my chair because I fidget too much, so I asked for arms.
Wow, okay.
So now I just fidget a little bit. Yeah, so we're not sure what we're calling that. We don't know what to say about the Detroit Pistons other than that was an absolutely horrible butt whooping by the Cavaliers. Lou said it. You knew it was over in the first 5.
What just an atrocious way to end a great season.
At home, and you get absolutely annihilated. 125-94. Donovan Mitchell, woohoo! This is a big deal. 26.7 rebounds, 8 assists. Jarrett Allen, 23.7 rebounds. Unfortunately for Cade, it was a playoff career low with 13. He was 5 of 16. But this is the first time that the Cavs have made the conference finals since LeBron's last season in Ohio. This is a big deal, you guys, but it's also a big deal for Donovan Mitchell specifically. Conference finals is first time in his career. I don't know how you can't be happy for Donovan Mitchell watching all of that yesterday, Lou.
No, he played great. He played well, and like you just mentioned, I said it was over in the first 5 minutes because he just how he inserted himself in the game. The first 2 plays of the game, he got a lob for Mobley and was able to get another dunk for Jarrett Allen. And if you know anything about playoff basketball and the NBA in general, if you allow somebody to get in your paint, let alone dish and be able to get guys dunks, that tells me it's a total breakdown on the defensive end. There's no stability on your defense if you're allowing people to get all the way to your rim and to be able to get dunks. The fact that the Cleveland Cavaliers, their first 4 points were 2 dunks, I didn't overreact, but I'm like, listen, that's a telltale sign. That's a bad sign because Detroit's not standing for anything. Donovan Mitchell, then he starts attacking, then that opens up the three-point line. Then from the 2 dunks, that turns into them getting 6 first-quarter three-pointers. That opens up everything for the game because now it puts Detroit in a position like where now we got to protect the rim. That opens up the three-point line, and now you have a breakdown on your defensive end, and we already know what Donovan Mitchell is able to do when you have defensive breakdowns. Then you start having these type of plays. If you allow somebody to be comfortable, as the Cleveland Cavaliers were to begin this game, that breeds momentum. And so for me, just for them to be so comfortable with the start of how this game went, I knew it was going to be a long night for Detroit, and I think they just never got into this game and were able to never put themselves in a position to be competitive at any point.
Yeah, he set the tone, right? And like Lou just said, getting your bigs, especially Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, who aren't really kind of shot creators themselves, getting your bigs these easy buckets early, letting them see the ball go through, just kind of opened up their entire offense. And I think Coach Van Gundy was saying that his first 4 or 5 assists all led to dunks and layups. And so they just had their way with the defense earlier, and you could tell Detroit was frustrated early. They were frustrated with the shots that Cleveland was getting. They were frustrated with the officiating, and I think they just the Cavs really just capitalized on that. But this is the best version of the Cavs offense I've seen. When you have this playmaking version of Donovan Mitchell, the bigs finishing everything. You have Sam Merrill going absolutely bananas.
Sam Merrill was incredible.
Knocking shots down.
Like incredible.
And then James Harden kind of doing everything in between for this team while still kind of struggling, which he's historically done in Game 7, but they didn't even need him last night. It's just such a dominating performance by those 2 bigs and Sam and Donovan Mitchell.
It is crazy how from game to game, it's just very Jekyll and Hyde, especially in this Eastern Conference situation. Like based off of the game before this, I would not have predicted anything remotely close to what we got last night. The Harden thing is you know, I can't help but say that, Chandler, it was a success, right? Like, this is exactly... They've made it as far as they've made it. He's made it as far... Like, this is a big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty... Like, they've never done it before,
They've
right?
never done this.
They didn't do it with Darius Garland, and they did it with James Harden. So I think that alone... That's why they made the move. They believe in Donovan Mitchell. Let's build pieces around him. And can James Harden help us win and get to where we want to get to right now, currently, for the next 1 to 3 to 5 years that Darius Garland and this team just couldn't do it? Obviously, that answer is yes. And this was one of the best offensive games and defensive games. Like, all season long, Detroit has dominated with their effort and with their energy and with their defense and toughness. The Cavs did that to them in Game 7 in the most critical part while they just dissected them offensively. So this was great. I think James Harden, again, he struggled a bit, and that's kind of been his thing in Game 7, which is weird because he's such a gamer and he's so talented offensively. But, yeah, I think this alone, just getting to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time with this unit, proves that it was a successful trade.
I mean, what else would you call it?
It made it all worth it. And they've had their peaks and valleys with James Harden, but when it mattered, he showed up. And like Chandler just mentioned, he was able to fill in the gaps, do all of the small and the necessary things that they needed from him, being able to be successful from the three-point line, being able to attack, getting other guys involved. Like, this is the best version of him that you can see right here. Playing, using his size, being able to get fouled, still playing through contact, trying to get to the rim, using the three-point line. Like, these are the things at his age that makes him successful, and he's shown up. So, you know, can you make a case that this is the most successful that they've been since? Absolutely. So that makes this trade worth it. This puts me back to the original plot. Last year, we were talking about Cleveland being that number 1 seed and getting back to that point where they can be respected as such. Got off to a kind of a slow start this season. That's what kind of provoked that trade to get them to this position. But now they're in the position that they always wanted to be in. They've righted everything that we thought were wrong. If we start talking about the Knicks, we were talking about the Celtics, we were talking about everybody around them, the Pistons included, and we kind of said, we're not sure about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They put everybody back on notice, and now everything is back to its original form, and we thought that Cleveland was one of the top teams in the East.
And defensively, too, like, they got guys like Max Strus and Dean Wade that can kind of fill in the gaps and do what James Harden doesn't do best. They could just allow him to be the point guard, kind of be the setup guy. Certain nights he can go off like he did in Game 6 and be that aggressive scorer, but even Max Strus and Dean Wade, most people probably aren't going to talk about them. They did a great job just hawking Cade Cunningham 94 feet all series long. Not even just last night, but just
So
making
annoying.
it difficult.
He's like rolling his eyes at times.
I mean,
You got to show Shooter some love, too, as well.
Yeah, they're face guarding.
Shooter did his thing.
They're face guarding Cade Cunningham from 94 feet.
Yeah.
Like, and you could just tell. And they picked his pocket a couple of times. They just made nothing easy for him. And for him in the biggest game of the season, again, to go 5 of 16, have 13 points was devastating for the type of season that he had individually and the type of season that this team had.
Also, a lot of Detroit was just Tobias Harris just happened out. It was just it was a combination.
The worst
of
timing
bad,
ever for
all
them to
bad.
have their worst game ever.
Truly.
It was, but again, like a guy like Schroeder, only 2 points last night, right? But look at the offensive fouls that he drawn, the energy that he brought to the table, the pressure that he put on to those guards to make it difficult for them to score. Just knowing how to impact the game without it showing up on a stat sheet. Like that's another guy that they went out and got at a trade deadline that they needed that ended up giving them big time minutes, no matter what it is. Like usually when a coach say, hey, just take advantage of your minutes and do something positive for a team. I think he was the example of that just by doing the small things that's not going to show up in a box score, but being able to help this team win a basketball game.
Also, think about how deep this team is. We don't even talk about Keelan Ellis. He was one of like the hottest names at the trade deadline for them to go and acquire. He doesn't even play. Like, because these other guys are just
Merrill,
like Merrill and Strus, and these guys are playing their
Merrill,
roles.
Strus is back in the lineup, and Strus was incredible this whole series.
It's crazy.
Play well.
Mobley and Allen are obviously a big part of this story, especially now as we kind of look ahead to the Knicks. But they had 44 points, 19 rebounds. That's what they combined for last night. This is, Chandler, you know, for everyone who doubts them, and there are a lot of us, by the way, because on any given night, one of them sort of can disappear. If you get this version of these two guys, now we're talking.
These guys did what I wanted Jalen Duren to do all playoffs long last night. Like just being active, finishing, catching the ball and finishing, rim running, lob threat, setting hard screens. Like, they did everything that you want your mobile, athletic big to do that you don't necessarily have to play through. They didn't once give the guy these, an ISO or face up or off the block pass. Look, these are all just straight up, just spoon-fed, no doubters, where you can go and you can catch and finish and do what you do and show your athleticism. So these guys were great. They were great defensively. They were great on the glass, and they're just so efficient when James Harden and when Donovan Mitchell can get in the paint and get in the teeth of defense and just bless them with these easy dunks and layups. It was like, it looked fun to be those guys last night.
I mean, well, yeah, when you're up that big too, it's just like,
well, Mobley was in
free.
his bag. Mobley was in his bag.
This is the Mobley I think people want to see and
it's the one we saw last year.
What you just said, Beadle, like, this should be the standard for these guys. Now that we know that you have the potential to be like this and to give this team these options to score inside of the paint and outside, like Mobley made some big shots from the line and beyond, but this should be their standard. They should be able to give you 30 to 35 points collectively on any given night to ease pressure off of Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. And now at this point for Strus and Merrill as well, to allow these other guys to to be able to use the three-point line as a threat. When you have guys that can do that for you inside of the paint and at that size, that makes this team deeper and that makes them a lot more dangerous.
Yep.
After this one, JB was asked about Bickerstaff, the season, if it's a disappointment. And you could tell he was a little annoyed by the question, which I get. You just lost, and it was not a great game at all. But he says it wasn't. It was not a disappointment that they were the one seed. So let me ask you that, right? Because we're talking about the Detroit Pistons. We all know where they were a few seasons ago, but they were a 60-win 1 seed. And to get blown out, like if this was a 2-3 point game or overtime, I don't know if we're having the same conversation, but it feels bad today.
Well, for me, when he says he doesn't feel like the season is a disappointment, and I say I agree, because I think they fail based on what we always knew what their holes were in this team. They couldn't score enough. They didn't have a secondary guy. And even their primary guy in Cade, they didn't have a good night last night. And when he doesn't have a good night, who's going to be the guy that gets you over that hump? They didn't have that consistent. I think Tobias Harris was pretty good in the playoffs. Everybody had a bad night for Detroit.
Real.
But again, when you talk about it, when you look around, we always kind of had our what-ifs. I woulda, coulda, shouldas about Detroit. Even at the number 1 position, we still looked at the Celtics as a more complete team. We looked at the Knicks as a more complete team. We had questions about Cleveland as well, but Detroit being a 60-win team, having 2 All-Stars, being able to have home court advantage, those are all positive things that a still very young team can build off of. Now, somebody had to lose.
Sure.
And somebody was going to be disappointed. It wasn't going to go their way. But they fought. They got to this point. They were in the Game 7. They were down 3-1 in the first round. They did a lot of positive things this season, and a lot was accomplished in Detroit. So to say that it was a complete disappointment in the season, there were some disappointing moments. I'm sure they're disappointed that their season has come to an end, but a lot of positives were made in Detroit this year.
I agree with you. Now that I'm hearing it all out, it's like last night was disappointing, but maybe not overall.
Like Game 7 sucked. Like there's no doubt. That's not the way. You don't want to go into this offseason with that sour taste in your mouth after the hell of the season you had. But it's not a disappointment because, first of all, they learned exactly what they need this offseason. They learned all their issues, all their glaring holes, and that is the most valuable thing they can get.
That's the hard part.
They also, they're not Oklahoma City. Like, I don't think teams tag them as a championship or bust type of situation this year. They overexceeded all expectations. They were dominating during the regular season. They got the number 1 seed. Coming back down 3-1, they showed resiliency and toughness. They've identified their culture. Like Cade last night, extending JB Bickerstaff, so proud and hyped to play for him for identifying the culture in this organization. Like, they grew so much this season. So I agree, this was not a disappointment. Game 7 was a disappointment. There's no doubt about it.
For all of us.
You don't want to get your ass kicked on your home court in Game 7 after everything you've been through. But this team knows exactly where they're going, and they will be exactly where they are next season, reloaded with hopefully a second option score.
Well, and that brings us to the money portion of today's show. Jalen Duren. 10 points is what he averaged during this thing. 8.5 rebounds in the playoffs. He is a restricted free agent this off season. Now, if he makes All-NBA, which a lot of people think he's going to, he'll be eligible for $287.
Are you sure the voters aren't going to be swayed by this? Like they were for Rookie of the Year.
Those votes are supposed to already be in. Like, I don't even know how it works anymore. Look, even if he's not All-NBA, he's still eligible for $239. That's $1 million, for those of you confused. I've been on this show, I've told y'all, I just have a lot of hesitation in signing this gentleman to this sort of a deal, especially what we just witnessed. I know you guys are in the camp of you have to, but I'm hearing more and more people sort of back off a little bit, like, hold on, what do we do?
There's a couple of things. He's restricted, first of all. So if I'm Detroit, I'm making him go get it from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And then I'll have the option to match that or not. All-NBA, I think, if you look at the consistency of this season, being the second best player on the best team in the East, averaging 20 and 10, which he did in the regular season, which this horrific postseason shouldn't impact the voting. He should be third-team All-NBA, which makes him get another $50 million, which is dicey. Again, I think there's all glaring holes, but I've said it all along. This kid is 22 years old. He's only going to continue to get better and grow, but this was bad. His agent's got some work to do this summer because this playoffs was bad. He didn't look like himself. Stewart was bad. Like, their third-string center was their best center all playoffs long. Like, that is not what you want to have happen going into your big free agency where you can get possibly that kind of bag. So I'm still rolling with him. I don't think Detroit is going to get a better big man than Jalen Duren in free agency ever. I don't think they're going to be able to produce something in the draft with how good they're going to be during the regular season with the picks that they're going to have. So I do think they need to pay him, but now we're starting talking 240, 250. I don't know. Maybe they can cut a deal. It's probably why they should have extended him before the season started.
Say that too.
But this was
a
humbling
50% drop off.
This was a humbling experience for him. But I think he only gets better from here. I really do. He's 22 years old and he's a man-child.
Lou,
but then he also needs some money for another scorer too. So I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the thing is it's not just, I don't know if you sort of psychologically sort of ruin the relationship between Duren and the team if, in fact, hey, go see what you can get and then we'll decide if we want to match or not. But also the fact that you are going to need that money. Tobias Harris is a free agent. You have to add, as we've just been talking about for basically the last 3 weeks.
But that's not even ruining the relationship. That's how restricted free agency works.
But I'm saying,
I went through it like people.
Do you think he mentally?
But also,
I think
if a team make you go out there and work and find it, you're kind of looking at them with a side eye. So now, business is business, but you know how it goes.
He's 22.
It's hard not to be a human in those situations where.
They didn't extend him early.
Yeah, it's hard not to be human and say, damn. Y'all not really feeling me like that? Like y'all made me go out here and find a team to match this deal?
Maybe after this playoffs they can meet in the middle somewhere and not make him go get it.
There you go. But I think where their holes are is obviously scoring. I think you go out and you go get a household name. You go out there and you knock on some doors.
Like, what are we thinking here? Ideally.
Fairy Tale Land, I like D-Book.
Oh, wow.
Get in the Giannis sweepstakes.
Okay.
You know, just somebody that's for sure that's going to give you an opportunity. I know it's some young guys out there, you know, the MPJs and the Trey Murphys of the world, those type of guys. They make your team better, but I wish they would just go out there and get somebody that Detroit can look up in the morning and say, okay, I think we got a legitimate opportunity to run it back and put ourselves in a better position than we're in right now. And so it's a lot of decisions to be made. They own all 3 of their first-round picks. They have some assets to go out there and play ball a little bit and tighten this team up. So they got a lot of questions that need answering.
All right, so dream scenario, Lou's got D-Book. Do you have someone, like, in your vision
That's
of
my
what
dream
this could be?
scenario.
Yeah, that would be a dream. I think it's a pipe dream, but it's a dream.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I have
dream.
guys like Trey Murphy and them too. Like they're good players. I want like a ball handling, like
Well,
Trey
you got
Murphy
your ball
and
handler.
MPJ. I'm saying like an off guard type of guy. Trey Murphy's great. MPJ's. I'd rather like an Austin Reaves type at a certain number.
Well, that could be a thing.
Where you can have him run the offense, let Cade play off the ball a little bit.
You make a run for Kevin Durant?
Yeah, do you do that just for a season and see what happens?
I'd rather someone younger to grow with this core that they have. But yeah, if you got a chance to go get Kevin Durant, of course, I would try and do that. But I just think that they definitely need more offense. Like, think about it. This team was a Game 7 away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Sure.
Tobias Harris, and I love Tobias Harris, as their second best player. It's pretty impressive.
It just had the
But again, that's a vet. That's an OG.
Yeah,
if you can get somebody,
you can re-sign him too with the
that's
second guy.
Okay.
Like, I don't think he's going to demand crazy. I think you bring Tobias Harris back. I think the fans should love him. The fans should want it back.
I think so.
Thompson, I think, is eligible for an extension too, which he's going to get a bag. Just his athleticism, the way he defends. I think it all depends on what number you can get Jalen Duren for. And same with Thompson. Those are 2 young studs that you probably want to keep, and that they fit the identity and the culture of Detroit Pistons basketball 1,000%. It's just at what number?
I wonder how much of this too is Giannis dependent. Like so many teams, I think are going to be frozen. I mean, obviously you can't do anything until later, anyways. No, but I think he's going to be the top brick that has to fall before things really.
That's why I said. That's why I said Fantasyland. I don't think he lands.
Domino.
Yeah, I don't think he lands in Detroit, but Fantasyland. If I want a big name, I'm throwing him out there. But I don't think it happens.
Yeah, no, I think it's fun to think about that because you never know. So what we get out of that, an Eastern Conference situation with Cleveland and New York. That bad boy starts tomorrow. All right, Chandler.
I hadn't seen the Knicks play in so long.
Yeah, they've had birthday parties.
I almost feel like I got to pick Cleveland. That's the only team I've seen play in a while.
Yeah, they got to be rusty, right?
Am I the only one, and this is me being negative, but am I the only one that once this game ended last night was like, congratulations to the Knicks, you're going to the finals?
Really?
I felt that like immediately.
I don't feel that way.
Well, no, it taught me out of it.
That.
No, here's the deal. I don't want to feel that. So if you can talk me out of it,
please do. The way the Cavs played last night, they can play with anybody, including those 2 teams in the Western Conference.
Okay.
If they're that dominant with those 2 bigs, and Donovan Mitchell is that efficient and plays that point guard position while scoring the basketball, and you're getting 20+ from Merrill, and Strus is making shots.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
If they play that version with that type of toughness and defense, they can compete with anybody. Now, the Knicks, again, it's what have you done for me lately season? We haven't seen them play in a month. Like they have been rolling. They've been playing better than anybody in this postseason. postseason, and they're rested, and OG's back now practicing with the team. Like, he's probably going to be back, and he's been their second best player all postseason. So I think this is going to be a highly competitive series. I think it goes 6 or 7. I got to give the Knicks just the advantage is how they've been playing, and now they should be fully loaded by the time this series actually starts. But yeah, I feel like I don't even know them at all. I need to watch film.
Who are you?
It's been so long since they played.
Like, legit, I've watched them have, like, Josh Hart had a whole birthday party for his kids. Like, this has been, like, days and days that they've been doing this. Lou, do you have Knicks coming out of this as well?
I do. I like the Knicks.
See?
You got to show respect to the team that took care of business and afforded themselves some rest, right? Like, we just watched Cleveland, and we kind of get lazy, and we like, dang, they had a great game last night. But it's a reason why the New York Knicks been off for quite a while, because they took care of business. They're well rested. They've been able to get OG back in the lineup. And I think they're just prepared for the task. I think they know that this is an opportunity for them to really get to the NBA Finals. I think they take full advantage of it. They're going to get they're going to get a Cleveland team that's coming off a tough fought Game 7. And sometimes when you're in that position, you kind of want to decompress. I don't think Cleveland has that opportunity, and I think New York takes advantage of it.
There's something to say, though, Cleveland, like, they're going straight from Detroit to New York.
Sure.
Like, they got momentum, and especially how they just performed on the road. Like, they think they can do anything going into MSG Game 1. So I do love the fact that they're going into this series on an absolute high.
But when have the New York Knicks not been on a high this entire postseason? Look what they did to Atlanta to close out. Look what they just did to Philadelphia. They've been on a high. They don't need any extra motivation. So again, I got to go with the team that's been chilling, readying up, getting ready for this thing.
See Knicks for clicks, people.
Series.
They don't hate the Knicks.
No, I don't hate the Knicks at all.
Everybody relax.
Just hate the Knicks fans.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. We're going to take a quick break. I know I actually love the team, just hate the fans.
Team's
All right,
Spurs. Arena's great, city's great.
We're going to talk them in a second.
Fans are obnoxious.
The fans really are, man. They're just the worst part.
Run it up, run it back.
So this happened, it feels like years ago, by the way. Spurs up in Minnesota. Again, blowout. 139-109 is your final. Stephon Castle with 32 and 11. Wemby with 19 and 27 minutes. Anthony Edwards did have 24 points. He was 9 of 26, however, from the field. Team postseason record for Spurs with 18 made threes. And it's the first conference finals since 2017. I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say all that out loud. Castle is doing a phenomenal job. He is an absolute joy to watch. He's also leading the team in points during the playoffs, which, you know, again, maybe if you would have predicted, you might have predicted he would have done it, Lou, but what have you seen so far during this playoff run for him?
I think he's been amazing on both ends of the floor. Like, this guy just has a motor. He plays hard. He tries to make the right plays. It feels like he's just always in the game in some capacity. And you love to have a young player like that just knows how to impact the game, whether he's going to score, get stops, dive into the stands, be tough. He's going to argue with people. Like, all of these are just motor plays. Look, this is bully ball right here. Like, he's not going to lead. He's not going to lead without
21 years old.
It's insane to me. I don't get anything about it.
I love it. He's been great in this postseason, and sometimes you want your young players in this position to just be able. You want to watch them grow and be able to be mature enough to be able to give you what the production that he's been able to give you. But he's been above and beyond, almost averaging 20 points a game. So when everybody starts talking about, you know, playoff experience and this and that, at some point you got to create it. You got to start somewhere, and it's happening. And I like the fact that Wemby set the tone for this. Like, hey, these teams don't have a lot of experience either, so what's the difference? And I think San Antonio has taken advantage of that. They're well respected, they're well coached, and these guys have a hell of a lot of confidence going into this next round. But Stephon Castle has been able to benefit the most from playing next to the alien and Victor Wembanyama and just being able to do everything that's needed that he doesn't do.
Yeah, I just like when I see a young dude like this just up his game even more in the postseason. Like, it is insane. The impact that he's had all year long has been just remarkable, right? With defensively, just dogging dudes, 94 feet, picking them up while still running this offense in the half court in transition. And he's continued to go and work on his outside shot. Now he's coming to way more consistent, reliable three-point shooter. So he's made the jump from 16.5 points to 20 points in the postseason when it matters the most, when it's pressure-packed, when your team needs you to survive and advance. This kid has been unbelievable, and he's not just a one-sided player. He's one of the best two-way players that we have in the game, and he's 21 years old. Like, it really is crazy. He's the perfect fit with Wemby. He's the perfect fit with these other guards like Fox and Harper, because he does what they do not do and what most guards don't do, and that's rebound, block shots, and defend 1 through 4. Like, it's ridiculous.
Sure. How are we feeling about Slash Brothers as a nickname for Harper and Castle?
I hate it.
I don't like it either.
I'm all set.
Can we come up with something better? If we're going to hate something, we should probably have solutions.
We'll leave the nicknames for Spurs for you. Yeah.
We'll let y'all do it. But Slash Bros, we can be way more creative.
Yeah, I don't love that.
That's just a recycled name.
It is very much that.
Think of them like slashers.
I don't either. Like, that's okay. So we're saying no to that, but we will get back to you with some backup options. Wemby, first playoff appearance, and here we are in the conference finals again. And Lou did mention that, the fact that experience is happening in real time, whether it's on a faster scale than maybe people expected or usually happens. I don't know, Chandler, but what are we thinking as far as the experience and if it matters that much for this team?
I think it matters when the matchup that they have. And again, this is the two teams that, if we would have fast forwarded the season 5 months ago, this is what we thought. This is what everyone wanted. This is what the people wanted. We got it. Spurs, Thunder, both the youngest, best, up-and-coming, and they've arrived teams that we have in the NBA, and they're both so special. They're so deep. This is exactly the series in the Western Conference Finals that we wanted. Wemby's going to have to be great. This is a great opportunity for them as underdogs to step up, take that non-experience against the defending champs, and do what they do. And again, this is going to take everybody. Guys like Champagnie and Harrison Barnes, like their number is going to get called. It's not just going to be Wemby and Castle and Fox and Harper. Like, everyone is going to have to collectively be great. But obviously, everything goes through him. We know his impact on the defensive end, but he's got to stay out of foul trouble. He's got to be aggressive early. Like how he set the tone in those game ones and the All-Star game even. I need that in game 1 of the Western Conference Finals.
I don't see why you wouldn't get it.
He's got to be great.
Yeah.
With all of those guys that Chandler mentioned, and when you started talking about experience, right? The deeper they go into the playoffs, they have to understand the expectation level goes up. So does experience matter? At this point, it absolutely does, because you're playing now. You have the matchup that you wanted. You're playing a defending champion, and you're playing a group of guys that's already been there. As you can see last night, how they celebrated each other, how they were able to do that for SGA. This is a team poised, and they're highly confident. Now, San Antonio's had a lot of success against OKC in the regular season, but now this is a movie now.
Yep.
This is a movie. This is going to go one game at a time, and they've been able to sit back and prepare for San Antonio and get a game plan together where they're going to take away some of these strengths and make them play to their weaknesses and see if they can still survive OKC in that fashion. So, guys like a Castle that's been playing lights out, Dylan Harper playing great and giving them good minutes. Obviously,
we love a Champagnie 3 night.
We love a Champagnie 3 night. We know what he brings to the table when it comes to the three-point line, and obviously Wemby and so on and so forth. This is the matchup that we've all been waiting for. But again, they're playing a team that's already been here before. And so that's when all of these things matter. How do they adjust? What game plan do they have that is different from the regular season that OKC is already prepared for some of those things that they've seen on film?
Yeah.
So there was a moment in this game with 8 minutes left. It had a lot of former players feeling a certain type of way, but that's Ant.
Yeah.
And he's heading over to the Spurs bench to just sort of dap people up. Thank you, good job. Because he knew he wasn't coming back in, is what he said.
Well, and when
but
the game
people
ends,
are mad about
when
it.
the game ends, you just want to get the hell out of there.
Sure.
So he figured he could just get this done now.
I was very curious what you two felt about this, because it seemed to trigger some folks.
Not feeling it.
Yeah.
Not feeling it. What I will say,
It's weird.
two things can be true. One, I think this is kind of blown out of proportion somewhat. Obviously we have the internet now, and so people are pulling comparisons of other great players doing something similar during games. Not at the 8-minute mark, though. Not at the 8-minute mark.
I mean,
the game was over, but
and he was done.
My critique for Ant-Man, the game was over, and also it's 8 minutes left, but they were getting handled pretty well this entire game. So it was said and done, but I think the next step for him in his maturation is understanding, wait until the end of the game and show those guys their proper respects. Also, show your proper respect to your home crowd as well for a hard-fought series in your building, a hard-fought playoff run. Give them that respect to go over and congratulate your opponent, and also tell your home crowd, we also appreciate you guys. So him doing this at the 8-minute mark, that showed me that he was going to get off the floor as soon as possible as he could. So, from an optic standpoint, I didn't love it, but I also think it was blown a little out of proportion.
For real.
But also when it's the first time that you see something happen, it's open for everybody to have an opinion.
It looks odd.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
before.
it
I didn't
looks
like
odd.
that it was on his home court either. If it was on the road, it would have almost made
interesting.
more sense
Okay.
that, like, all right, I'm just going to say bye now and I'm out of here. But, like, you never want to show your home crowd, your fan base, that you're basically giving up. You're throwing in the towel. Although the game was over. Like, if Cade Cunningham did this last night,
It would be weird.
it would be weird. But, like, at the end of the day, the game was over, and he probably doesn't want to sit there and watch them celebrate and get off the court. I just think optics-wise, business-wise, you're just one of the guys, Ant. Like be there, watch the guys that didn't play a lot of opportunity, a lot of minutes early on the season, throughout the season. Watch them compete the last 8 minutes of the game and finish as a unit, and don't go do things as an individual. I think that's the only issue with it. But honestly, I didn't think
The 8 minutes it threw me off because I'm like, where's he going?
We're living in a world where everybody is.
We're nitpicking.
We all have opinions.
We're
don't we?
under, for lack of a better word, we're under surveillance 24/7, right?
sure.
Like everything is like we've gotten into this culture where we're all experts and we all feel like our opinions matter, and we got to have a deep think piece about every single thing that we see. I've never seen this one before, so everybody.
I've seen LeBron do it and stuff. Just not
LeBron did it with like
four
4.5 minutes against the Warriors, and then there were other examples of this, but. Again, when it's the first time that you see something that leaves the door open for criticism, especially if you're on the wrong end of it. Like if he was up 30 and did this to those guys, it'll probably be considered showboating. So depending on
that would have been weird.
Yeah. So depending on your POV.
Yeah, also like you're asking to be punched at that point.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be so awesome if Donovan Mitchell went to the Pistons bench up 30.
Oh, that would be the worst.
It's all about your point of view. It's all about your point of view. But I had never seen this one before, so I genuinely didn't know how to feel about it because I was like, I don't know how.
I wondered if
what's
it's the
going on?
player too. Like we all like Ant, right? Like we consider him like a brutally honest,
100% the
unfiltered.
person.
Like because if LeBron and Schiff, shout out, was just mentioning if LeBron did it with 8 minutes left, like he would get absolutely
It'd be
crushed.
the end of the world.
But we look at him.
To be honest with you, though, I didn't think twice about it until I saw all the backlash on
it's
social
so
media.
much
Like I
backlash.
swear, I was like, oh, that's just Ant being Ant. You're right. It is the person
Ant.
that I think has the impact of the situation. Like I literally just saw that. I was like, oh, and then I saw all the stuff that happened afterwards.
I
was
think
like,
your brain just
You know
went,
what?
"What's
It was
happening?"
kind of weird that he did
Yeah,
that.
the clock's really says 8 minutes. By the way, I love a good sneaker war. I love a good social media
Oh, me too.
campaign, and I love what Nike did. They took Anthony Edwards' "Believe This" and threw it on top of an alien logo for Wemby. How good it! By the way, and it was quick.
It's unreal.
They were waiting on this one.
It's like Jalen Brunson. They just did something with Jalen Brunson when they after about the process with Joel Embiid. Like that, I love
down
a good
I like
petty.
quickness.
Like, come on, you're my
Yeah.
biggest endorsement.
Lead it.
I'm rocking your stuff on the
Believe
biggest
this.
stage. Like rep me. I love this.
I love it too.
To be fair,
To be fair,
Adidas started it, so
so that's fair.
yeah, it's fair.
It's all open.
Y'all started it. Y'all started it with the commercial, with the silhouettes or the cartoon version of certain guys being depicted.
So smart,
So
though.
yeah, it's all fun.
It doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, it's entertainment for all of us. The question started immediately after this one, as they're going to. Naz Reid asked about what they need to do to catch the Thunder and the Spurs. His answer's kind of weird, Lou. Be less moody and more selfless. It's a very interesting answer.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's really like we're good personnel-wise. We just have to change our personalities. What does that mean?
I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, Naz Reid can speak to the moodiness and the selflessness
The moodiness?
behind the scenes.
who?
I don't know what's happening. I think they've done a great job of keeping it under wraps. Whatever's
great point.
bubbling under the surface that he's speaking to, they did a great job of keeping it to themselves. But
Y'all do be moody, though, boys.
Oh yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact. So I don't know what's going on there, but from my vantage point, it looks like a team that's connected. If there's something else going on, Naz Reid, it's all fair for him to say and point out how he feels.
Yeah, I think I'm just more surprised at this because when I watch them play, and
Yeah.
I hear them talk it with Jaden and Ant and
I
I don't get this vibe.
I don't get this vibe.
Not at all. So this is a little bit confusing, but also to say this again, I think emotions clearly are running high. You just got eliminated. Your season was just ended. But I don't get this vibe at all from this team,
either.
this unit. And Chris Finch, I know, is a great coach, and he doesn't allow any of that outside noise or any of that pettiness linger. So I would think if this was something that was an issue, it would have been addressed way before losing Game 6 in a series. So it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's something to think about. But we get a Game 1 tonight. Western Conference Finals will be here in a few hours. Shams had a lot of breaking news yesterday, but
Shams.
one of them was...
You had a day, Shams.
Keep doing your job, Shams.
We love you, Shams.
We love you,
had
buddy.
A day.
That's your job. But the big news, and the one that I didn't get super stoked about, Jalen Williams will be back. Has not played since Game 2 against the Suns. By the way, the Suns, that series seems like it was literally last year. All right, let's start. Lou, who wins tonight? We'll get to the series, but tonight.
I'm going to say OKC. I'm going to give them their proper respects.
Bold pick.
Is it?
No, it's not a bold
Oh, I thought you were being serious. You can never tell when you play the San Antonio Spurs. You can never tell what's going on out there. But no, I like OKC on their home floor. Jalen Williams obviously being back gives them another look. But when you talk about a deep basketball team and you can bring back your second best player who hasn't been healthy all season to give you another look, that changes everything. But I'm swaying my vote towards OKC. I think they start this series off right in their home building.
Do you even remember OKC played Phoenix? Like, even when I said the words, I was like, what?
No.
That is forever.
They haven't lost, right, in the playoffs?
Talk about, like, people who are arrested.
Yeah, they haven't lost. I don't know why they'd start tonight. Again, these are the best two teams in the Western Conference. I think they match up perfect.
Go ahead.
A hot take, Chandler.
I'm just saying. And I hate the whole, like, oh, they had success with them during the regular season. Like,
I mean...
That means nothing now. It's a completely different season. And I think the Thunder are smart enough and good enough to adjust of the things that they didn't do as well during the regular season and these January, February games that really don't matter at all to now in the postseason. So, again, I think this series is also going to be competitive. I think the Spurs just need to not get, like, really, really hammered in this series to show that they're close as we think they are. You know what I mean? Like if they get swept or losing 5,
I will cry.
It's like, damn, they are nowhere near where we thought they'd be.
Well, slow down.
You know what I mean?
They are
Like, so
going up
I
against
just think
a
this
juggernaut.
Game 1, it'd be huge if they could obviously steal one Game 1, but I got the Thunder.
Well,
Well,
one
hey-
thing we can look forward to for sure. We did get the matchup that we want.
That's 100%.
Like, what's the expectation
Usually we
for them,
never
though,
get the
this season?
matchup
No, this
that
is-
we want. We
this is
never
perfect.
get the matchup that we want. So we could say OKC, we could say Spurs, but they got to sort it out on the court. This is the 1-2 punch that we've always wanted to see, and we got it. And it starts tonight.
Okay, so Beads, you love the Spurs. You
So
know,
much. More than anything.
Well,
You're
okay.
not going to get an unbiased opinion.
No,
from
what are
us.
the
Why would I be
What are the
unbiased?
expectations? Are they to win this series?
So I will tell you how I personally feel today. I feel very calm. I wouldn't even say I was nervous in the last series because I think they should have won that series. So that felt more like things were.
You're not nervous this one?
I'm not nervous because, and
There's
this
no
is,
expectation
by the way,
to
this
win.
is going to sound very anti-competitive, and it feels weird for me to say out loud. But you're right. I kind of feel like I don't think they're supposed to win the series, so whatever happens is good experience. But that being said, I can't stand OKC, and I 100% hope that the San Antonio Spurs.
Like, if they lost to
surprise-
Minnesota, it would be devastating. We're a better
I was
team.
legit
We're like,
nervous for
yes.
those games.
You lose OKC, it's like, all right, we can get them next
I
year.
can get over that because it's another step in the quote unquote experience ladder that everyone's so obsessed with. So yeah, I'll say this, I'm damn excited. Like I am
Me too.
super excited. Okay, let's do it. Let's do the series predictions. Lewis, what do you got?
OKC in 6.
Wow.
In
I think
6.
that would be a
I love
huge
that for
success
us.
for San Antonio.
Okay.
OKC in 6. Well, listen, they got to play basketball. I think
That's a great point.
4-2 OKC way is showing respect to both sides.
Okay, fair enough, Chandler.
OKC in 5.
Why are you such a turd?
What do you mean they haven't lost? Like, I'm going to go back to my
And-
knowledge earlier. They haven't lost yet. They're not going to lose 2 to this team.
Look, I'm not saying that the regular season is, but it's not that they're not beatable.
Again, this is almost not even a knock on San Antonio. San
feels
Antonio
like it.
is the second best team in the Western Conference. I just think the gap between these two teams is just exponential.
They haven't shown that
Like,
gap.
I think they will.
I
in
mean,
this series.
I'm agreeing with you, and we obviously know
just too good.
the
They're
regular
too deep.
season is completely different than the postseason.
Sure.
But they've shown enough where I feel like they will make this a competitive series.
And I hope to God it does.
I
I want
can't
this
say
to go
different.
7. Like, I want this to be a great
I think
series.
the Spurs shocked
And
the
I think
world tonight.
I think it's great for the league. I think it's great for both these teams to be on the rise and championship level teams. I just think the Thunder are a notch above them.
You know what? I have Spurs winning the first game.
Shock.
And here's why. Here's why. Because as we all know, SGA was presented with the MVP award yesterday, but he's going to be literally the trophy will be given to him before the game tonight.
That's going to make them play bad.
It's going to make Wemby play better. That's where I'm going with.
Opposed to the
it's a
guy that
mental
actually
game.
has the trophy that,
So bored.
that wants.
Ugh,
now
so
he's a back-to-back MVP and had an opportunity to start this,
but the
to
alien
continue
is
this
petty.
journey to get his second ring.
Okay, guys, I'm
He
just
can be
picking,
as
I'm just
petty as he
telling you.
want to be.
I got AJ Mitchell's just chomping at the bit for this game to start.
That's your take?
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, let's make little side bets on the side for this one, because now I'm getting angry.
Listen, the SGA that I know, this doesn't rattle him. And again,
I know.
We're talking about experience. This ain't his first time getting this trophy before a big game.
But it's Wemby's first time being on the floor while the trophy is handed that he thinks he should
all due
win.
respect, this ain't about Wemby.
And you don't
It is
think
tonight.
they hear the chatter too that this team?
100%
You don't
about
think
Wemby.
they've heard the chatter all year long that this team has your number? This is
Sure.
the only team that can beat you.
Yeah.
The Thunder know that damn well.
Why are you guys both being jerks about this?
I was just being realistic.
Like-
They could
You
be
don't want
playing
us to be
anybody.
realistic.
We'd be saying the same thing if they were playing Minnesota.
You also both had the
Denver.
Hawks winning, so like I don't even take you seriously at this point. Are we taking a break? I hate them.
He's gonna throw a
wearing
shot
a
at us because
We'll be right back. Why are you? What? Oh my God.
Run it back.
Let's do it. Lou, you're up first. Miles Turner said on his podcast that Doc Rivers, quote, didn't find anybody ever cool, and that Giannis would show up whenever he wants. Not cool, Lou.
my boy Bobby Porter said this got to be AI. Hey, listen, different teams have different cultures.
My kind of coach.
Yeah, my kind of guy. Now, when I was with Doc, he was a little lenient. However,
Interesting.
we didn't take advantage of that because, we had pretty good leadership. So what I would say to that is that starts in the locker room and the culture that you build as a group. Usually it's somebody saying, hey, if the plane is at 3:30, we're there at 3 to 3:15.
Sure.
Like, we got somewhere to go, we got somewhere to be. Let's handle business. If they didn't build that culture, or that culture had broken down by Giannis kind of being 1 foot in, 1 foot
a
out
bummer.
type of thing, I don't know. I can't really speak to it, but what Miles Turner said and Bobby Portis' reaction to it tells me that somebody's tripping. I don't know which is which, but.
Why would Miles Turner
yeah.
say that if it wasn't?
But Doc isn't a heavy fine guy. He leaves it up to the guys in the locker room to, create and build culture.
Can a coach just fine you? Like,
Yeah.
do they have to go through a process, or is it just
He
as
can just
simple as?
find you. He can find you.
And it can be anything, or they're like set numbers.
It's set numbers.
Like if you're
for-
late to the plane.
I think about the Heat have the whole weight.
Yeah,
no one else
it's a
has
set-
that.
it's
That's
a
just
set
like a
number.
Spoelstra, Pat Riley thing. Like,
Yeah, I never knew if there was like a process to it, or you.
I'll say this: there needs to be some sort of accountability. Obviously, I never played for Doc. Lou had, and
Yeah.
I love Doc from the outside looking in. But like Kevin McHale, I played for. It didn't matter if you were the number 1 guy, if you were James Harden, or if you were the 15th guy. If the flight's at 3:30, those doors are shutting at 3:30, and we are out. I don't care who you are. I don't care what. Like we are a team, and there is no one bigger than this team, and like we do everything together. And then I've had certain coaches that are a little more loose, like kind of the Doc situation here. So again, I don't like Lou. I don't know the situation. I'm not close enough to it. But that's not I would imagine that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not-
Yeah, the fine
We
thing
ran a
is not
tight
it for
ship,
me. It's
though.
the Giannis.
Yeah, when I was with Doc, we ran a tight ship. Like we did an incredible job of holding each other accountable, and also at the stage of my career that I was with Doc, I was considered one of the veteran guys, and we had a lot of young, impressionable guys, like a SGA. You have a guy like that on your roster, so you want to try to set the best examples that you possibly can for carryover. So we ran a tight ship. Doc gave us the leeway to run our locker room and to build a culture where it was successful for us. So we didn't have a lot of these issues where we can say it was good or bad. We didn't really toe the line with these type of things. But again, if you have that type of leadership in your locker room and your star player, if that's your leader and he's in and out and not really engaged and he's going to do what he want to do, then you're going to have things like this. But me seeing Miles Turner talk about this, he was talking in more of a joking, like being fun.
Right,
kinda
like he
thing.
never find anybody.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he was speaking in a way where it wasn't really a big deal in what he was speaking about, and then everything that's going on with Giannis obviously is going to be it's going to go somewhere else. So
It's a sizzle
that's what
topic.
we were dealing with this.
Speaking of, according to The Athletic, Luka does not want the Lakers to trade Austin Reaves to get Giannis to Los Angeles. Chandler, God, this Giannis stuff is going to kill me. Anyways, do you think Lakers should stick with Austin and not Giannis?
Well, I think that's the right thing for Luka to say, right? I think that's
really good, he
said.
said.
It's his teammate. He had a great year. Austin Reaves played 51 games this year, averaged 23, 6, and 5. Like he's 27 years old. He proved himself to be a absolute stud in this league. Now, he's going to get paid, whether that's in LA or somewhere else, we don't know yet. But he will be the asset where if the Lakers want to make a move and get a player like Giannis, obviously Austin Reaves is going to have to be the main piece with some picks and some other players. So I like it from Luka. I just worry, is Luka, Austin Reaves, and LeBron James enough in this Western Conference?
No.
Probably not, but he's going to get paid, and he deserves to get paid.
Yeah, I like Luka saying this. I'm going to go with the guy that I've been already in the foxhole with, opposed to who I haven't played with as well. So I'm gonna go with the guy that I know what he gives me, and that's my man's in them. You know what I'm saying? That's my teammate. That's my dog, and so I'm always going to go to bat for him, so I'm down for that.
We're going to take a quick break. There is some breaking news. Shout out Shams. We're going to get to that immediately on the other side. Boom!
We're back.
We're back, baby! FanDuel, giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long, from spreads to player points to threes and more. Build it all into one same-game parlay and go for more value. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/same-game-parlay. That is a tongue twister. We got some breaking news, as I mentioned. Shams Charania reporting that New Orleans Pelicans are hiring Jamahl Mosley as the franchise's new head coach on a 5-year deal. Man, Jamahl, listen to me.
Quickest move of all time.
First, you take some time off. You go enjoy life and take a vacay, and then you get another job. What's the rush?
No, I think this.
Well, he'd prefer to be still playing. So he's
fair, but
this is how he is. This is how he's wired. He wants to be. He wants to coach. He wants to work. And this is why I think this was a huge mistake by Orlando. I think there's not that many coaches better than Jamahl Mosley. He's young. He identifies culture. He's a great dude.
He's walking into he's
walking into a team at
one.
least with some pieces and talent, but he's walking into a project.
It's a project. That's a good call.
But I think he would be the guy kind of to set. Think what he just did in Orlando, and like the turnaround they've had. No doubt in my mind, he'll do the same thing here in New Orleans. So happy for Jamahl, happy for his family to be able to move there, and I hope he has a lot of success early because he's one of the greatest dudes I ever played for.
I mean, that was quick, Lou. It's quick. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a good quality move. He's a great coach. He's been able to build something out in Orlando, as you can see. Now he has another clean canvas of some young stars down in New Orleans, some good pieces. But he got some work cut out for him to get New Orleans back in the conversation of being one of the competitive teams in the West. So, you know.
I got to imagine the Zion part was part of the conversation.
I mean, yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
Zion, what are we doing?
I'm saying, it's a couple young,
are we
young,
keeping him? Are we moving him? What are we doing?
Him and Joe Dumars got
He's
some
had the
talking
job
to do.
30 seconds.
No, I need to know now. I need to know
They have
now.
talent. They have talent. Obviously, we know how good the Western Conference is, but I am just glad that a team recognized that this is the hottest guy available. Why are we waiting? Let's offer him, what is it, a 5-year deal?
5-year deal.
Yeah.
Says that they were in constant contact with him since he was dismissed on May 4th. So this has been
Joe Dumars.
It's a little flirting going back and forth for a while.
There you go.
I think Rajon Rondo will be a coach, though.
Doe will definitely get an opportunity, but, you know. Jamahl Mosley was the right choice at this point. And I'm sure Rondo will get an opportunity somewhere else.
And even the pub that Rondo got, even being
great
in the mix in this without coaching before, like, this was a great look for him. And I think it kind of gives him the nod and an advantage, you know, the next opening or next summer when it comes down to it.
It's like free PR, and it's all good. By the way, we got Boogie back tomorrow. Boogie's been to like 97 countries since we saw him
Well
last.
traveled.
So the whole first segment tomorrow is, where you been? We'll do that. A good one. Enjoy the game. Go Spurs, go!